Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back.
I'm Jo'Van.
And I'm Brandice.
And you're watching Closing the Gap.
We haven't done it like that in a while.
We haven't done it in a long time. First time 2022.
Woo!
Let's go.
Let's go.
The energy.
Yes.
Yes. By the way, we're going to have a moment of appreciation for Brandice's fit. I mean, she got the braids, she got the earrings, she got all that. The ripped jeans.
Yes.
Killing it.
Thank you so much. Had
Absolutely.
to bring it for 2022.
Oh, for sure.
Second season, just bringing it.
Right.
Yes.
So that's what's up.
Thank you.
This week, we will be discussing.
I'm not the only one with braids. Look at my co-host.
You know what I'm saying? You know, we dripping up this year. You know what I'm saying?
We dripping in 2022, y'all.
I'm gonna get some jewelry in it. You know how people be putting the yeah.
We shall see.
Yeah, I'm gonna get plaits too. It's gonna be crazy.
We rock our head back and forth.
Right. Okay, I know we got 10 minutes, and this is not. I shouldn't say this, but when that song first came out, I was like, "Who is this?" And when I found out that was Willow Smith, I was like, "Yo." And she's actually a really good musician. Like, she's very good. But
after the episode, mind me to tell you something about Will Smith.
Okay.
I just don't want to.
Oh, after the episode?
Yes.
All right, bet. So, this episode, we are discussing closure.
We're what?
Discussing closure.
Okay, you know, say discuss.
That's not what I said?
No, but that's okay.
What'd I say?
It's okay.
Okay. This week, we will be discussing closure. Why is closure good? When it isn't necessary, and healthy ways to get closure. So, Brandice, why don't you get us started off? Why is closure good post-relationship?
I think a lot of people.
Not the notes. Let's
The
go.
notes. Okay. So I think we just, as a human, just.
You said human? Sorry.
I hate it here. Human. So just naturally, your brain needs an authentic narrative to make sense of what happened. Without closure, you might keep going. Well, this is geared towards relationships, but without closure, you might keep going back to relationships that wasn't working. You could be doomed to repeat the same relationship patterns the next time around without that closure.
Facts.
So I think that's just a natural thing. We want to know why did it, what happened, why did it end, all of those things. And I think closure is a good thing for the most part, but there's some times that closure is just not good. And I think the biggest thing is, like, if it's abuse, like, you just need to leave. You don't need to be like, why are you like this? You don't need all the answers.
Right. You're not going back and like, hit me one more time. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my
I just
gosh.
really need to sink in.
Some people just like to figure out the ins and outs of a person, like trying to figure out why are they doing this and get that kind of wrap that around their head to maybe. And so I think when it's abuse is in play, or if they are constantly disrespecting you and just don't have any kind of like regard of how you feeling or respect for you, then at that point the disrespect is all you need to just leave. You don't have to be like, well, why listen, he's clear, or she, I'm not gonna.
I was about to say.
I felt it. Listen,
I was like,
Look, we've been doing this long enough for me to know, like, or she have been disrespecting you over and over again. Just leave. You don't have to have that sit down. I'm like, well, just tell me why. I need to put a pretty bow on it. You don't have to have it.
And you can't depend on that, because a lot of times people don't get that opportunity to sit down with the person and walk through. Okay, what happened? Blah blah blah. I mean, that takes really good maturity and communication, and a lot of people don't have that. And a lot of people, when they're done, they just want to be done. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you can't be like, if I can't talk to this person and get closure, I'll never move on. That is a mistake.
Right. And I want that exit interview. So that's just not going to happen. And some relationships end on a good note, and maybe they can like, well, I didn't think we were compatible, all of this, so that maybe you get closure that way. But guess what? If you don't get it, then you have to like do the work within yourself to be okay and move on.
Right. And it's like you need to allow yourself to have that space. And the only way you can get that space is you can't be constantly like filling your day with this person, whether it be a social media, whether it be looking at your old pictures.
Oh,
and
that part.
We went to the Coca-Cola factory. It was so romantic. No, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can't, if you do that, you're just making it last longer.
Yes.
It's okay to feel hurt and to grieve, and that's an important process of, you know, ending something, because breakups can be traumatic, you know, especially when you put a lot of time into it and a lot of times pass. You got all these thoughts in your head. You got to let that time pass. So, you know, do what you need to do, but don't expect that closure is going to come from interacting with that person. If anything, it could just make you want them more, because you're just like, but look at us. We're talking now. We're talking now.
Listen, and I have a couple of ways to get to move on if you don't get that closure. But I just want to point out also there are other things that people might want closure for, not necessarily just from a relationship. So relationship obviously is the number one thing. The end of relationships, people want to know why, whatever. Or sometimes a death of a loved one, especially if it's unexpected. You always like, Lord, why? Sometimes you're not going to get that answer, but you have to go through those grieving process to move on. You can't stay in that grief or that upset. A loss of a job, whether it's layoff or whatever the case may be, you might not get that exit interview or explanation of what happened, what did I do wrong, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, sometimes you're just fired.
That part. And then another way is the way of life, where there was an injury or illness. So I saw this TikTok of this guy who was very athletic. He had a skiing accident. He was paralyzed after that.
What kind of accident?
Skiing.
Skiing? Okay.
Didn't know you were 20-year-old.
Oh, you said a skin accident.
No, a skiing.
Okay, skiing. Skiing.
So, oh Lord. So of course his way of life was changed drastically overnight. So that's another just, oh my gosh. And if you can stay in that, like, oh, I had this way of life, whatever the case may be, you have to move on, accept that this is different, and move on with your life and try to find a new way, your new way of life now.
If you're going through this, look up the word rumination. I think that's how you say it. And that's when you have this loop, this trauma loop in your head, or you just keep reliving the trauma over and over and over again, and you never released from it.
Yeah.
If that's what you're doing, do everything you can to get out, because you're literally just torturing yourself at that point.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? And it's not easy to not think about things, especially when you just like, it's causing you so much pain, but you got to do the work. If you sit in it, you're just going to prolong it. And that stuff will affect you physically. Like, you can get sick.
Oh, definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So it's very, very important that you address that grief for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And I know we're running out of time, so I just wanted to go over the different ways to move on if you never get that closure,
right.
like an unexpected illness or whatever. And I know a lot of it, a relationship, that's the biggest one. To understand you did not fail. Like, even if the relationship didn't work out, you are not the failure. I mean, you might have mistakes, but don't ever beat yourself up too hard. Like, you learn from it and you can move on. Don't keep saying, what did I do? What could I have done differently? You just have to learn your lesson and keep it trucking. Believe in moving on. I actually had a friend recently who did a sudden breakup with her boyfriend. She just thought it was going to be it. She goes, I don't know how I can move on. You have to know that wasn't your course. So you have to know there's love after this, or life, or whatever the case may be after that. So you have to know, I will move on, and I can't keep going. You have to stay busy, or what your psychology today said, get a life.
Psychology today, I was looking it up. They were like, get a life. And I'm like, what? I'm like, what if I'm going through something? I'm like, that's going to hit crazy. But it really is just talking about, like, reestablishing who you are outside of this relationship, like reestablishing your life outside. That's what that means.
Yes. So just get out there, enjoy life, pamper yourself. Just do that self-care and just, like, love on yourself. Give
me one example of a good way to pamper yourself.
Well, get a massage.
You took mine. Man.
I was going to do a gender this. I was like, no, let me open it up for everybody. Get a massage.
Man, go get that massage.
Yes.
For real. It's good.
Talk to your friends, talk to love. Don't keep those emotions bottled up. You definitely want to get those emotions out. Talk to someone you trust and that will support you. 6 is walk out the door. Get some sunshine. Don't stay in that bed. You have to get out, get some sunshine, and get that fresh air to get those endorphins, all that vitamin going.
Okay, I see you with the chemical terms. Okay.
Disclaimer: I am not a doctor.
Nah, but you're right. Getting that fresh air, man. Let me tell you something. I work from home, and I be just inside.
Yeah.
And then I'll go outside to get the mail, and I'm just like, this blessing from God. This is, even when it's cold outside, it's just it literally changes. Just so
no,
yeah,
for real, because like
don't underestimate that.
I mean, I'm still going into work, but my office is inside. I don't have any windows.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times I do eat lunch at work. So like literally today, I went in at 7, and then I could see outside until 4 o'clock when I was leaving.
Wow.
So getting fresh air does.
You need a plant. You need something green.
I know. And number 7, you touched on this already. Mm-hmm. Permission to feel sad. It's okay. It's natural. It's a natural reaction for whatever whether the relationship, death of a loved one, or whatever you're going through, and you can't get that closure. Right. It's okay to go through all of those emotions. Don't ever try to bottle in and
be human, man. You're not a robot. Be human.
Oh, you are a robot.
Let's break it down.
8. You will love again. Was that Celine Dion? The Titanic song? Okay. Wrong audience. And number 9, get unstuck. If you're so stuck you can't get out, go to a therapist, get a professional help. If you just can't get it together, you try to talk to your loved one, you try to do all of the steps, you're still stuck, seek professional help. You don't ever want to get stuck.
Be active in your healing. If you stay stuck, it's literally because you got it. Okay, excuse me. Let me rephrase what I'm about to say. You don't have to be stuck. Use every tool that you can find to get out of that. Every healthy tool, not drugs, because you know what I'm saying, or alcohol, but literally learn to show yourself love, the love that you want so desperately from this person or whatever situation. Mm-hmm. Learn to give that to yourself, and you'll be okay.
Yes. And just one of the keys to think about when you're moving on, you don't get that closure, that pretty bow at the end. The don'ts of moving on. Don't call your ex's phone or text him just to hear his voice or to keep that going. Don't. Listen, you're only prolonging the inevitable, that hurt. So
I made that mistake. Don't do that.
Listen,
I just wanted coffee, but
we've all been there. Also, and this is interesting when I got this one. Don't badmouth your past love or spread untruths. Because a lot of times we try to do that to make ourselves feel better. Like, oh, he or she.
You see how she be trying the men like that?
I'm trying. I'm trying. So don't bash the person. Just don't do it. That's growth, and you just don't want it. It makes you look bad, actually.
It does.
So just don't do it. Just accept it didn't work out. It takes 2 to tango. So it's things that you need to learn about yourself, and vice versa. But you don't. It's just not a good look, sis, bro.
No, just sis.
Okay. 2 more things. Don't head to the nearest mall for that retail therapy.
Man, retail therapy though. I must say, look. This may be the one thing I say wrong today, but sometimes that retail therapy be hitting right.
Yeah, just some one little thing will hurt, but if you go crazy.
Right. Because it's like that is a form of self-love. But I see what you're saying, going crazy with it. Like, I gotta fill this hole.
Yeah. I'm not saying you can't go buy a sweater, and I'm talking about the people who are going like crazy. That part. And then also the next one, don't drown your sorrows in food. So again, if you just want a little ice cream to help you feel better, that's okay. Because I've had a bad day and got a little ice cream. But we're talking about going on a binger of like all of the food. You just drowning, and that's how you end up on 600-pound life. So don't do that. So just a little bit is fine. We're human, of course. So if you want that little cup of ice cream, that's not a big issue. It's when you're going to that binge, you're just like, my feelings, I need food.
Yeah, don't get that Brewster's membership. You don't need it. Okay, you're going to be all right.
Listen.
You're going to be all right.
Get points, get a free ice cream. But Just don't do it all in
a
one
waffle
day.
cone every single day.
No,
you
that's
better
not
put that waffle cone down.
And just a reminder that this might seem like the end of all, and you just don't know what tomorrow brings.
Yeah.
But the ultimate thing is to remember, God is there. He knows what your future holds. And my favorite scripture is always going to be Jeremiah 29:11. He says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future." So if whatever you're going through, if it's not what you expected or whatever the case may be, just know that wasn't what God had for you, and He's taking you to another level. So He knows what He has, and it's not to harm you. He wants to prosper you. So yes, it hurts. Yes, it doesn't feel good, but just know God wants only the best for you. He has great plans and thoughts towards you. He would never do something that will keep you in that constant torture and pain.
Right.
So you just got to go through that process, but you will come out better on the other side. So if you can't get that final conversation, exit interview, or whatever, your way of life is totally changed, you had a sudden loss of a loved one, it hurts, but sometimes you won't be able to get that explanation of what happened. Just know there's hope on the other side.
Hey, Brandice killed that. Yeah, no, facts.
Thanks.
I got nothing to say. That's all facts.
That's all. I mean, yeah, I think a lot of people just want that closure, and it's just sometimes you can get it, and that's great. I'm not gonna knock it so you don't have to get it, but sometimes you can't. You can't get it, and I'll never forget. I'll share this personal story. I remember going through a relationship, and afterwards I wanted that closure, but I just didn't get it, and I remember praying like, and I'm not a person who kind of hold grudges, but I kept having this like negative feeling.
Wait, you aren't?
I'm not.
Okay.
Usually I can, but for whatever reason I kept holding it. I couldn't get it out of my system. So
Right.
I kept praying like, God, please allow this feelings or whatever, these negative feelings to get out of me.
Right.
And I remember God saying like, there takes two. Even though I didn't think I was in the wrong at all, like during that situation, how it ended, I still like reached out to the person and said, I'm sorry if I ever did this, and they actually responded, it wasn't you, it was all me, I'm so sorry. And so with them saying that, it was like this pressure lifted off of me. So even though I was apologizing with a big person, I got the closure I needed. So
that's awesome.
Just wanted to share
I
that.
know someone that had a similar situation that they did the same thing.
Yeah.
And it was years after what happened. They reached out years later. They were like, man, I feel like I'm still carrying this, so let me just reach out. Mm-hmm. And after that, they were good.
Yeah, because I mean, you never know. I don't know. So it's just, if you ever like still walking around needing, just pray to God and ask Him, and He will help you to get that closure you need. Whether it's not from that person, but it could just be just from, I don't know, different ways. So.
Man, this felt like Closing the Gap featuring Jo'Van, because you were killing that. You were killing that.
Listen, this was one of my suggestions. I had this.
Yeah.
Come
No,
out.
that was good. That was a lot of gems dropped.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
So, thanks guys for tuning in. I know this was a little longer episode than normal, but make sure you like and subscribe so you get those notifications about future episodes. We would love that support. And until next time, bye. Oh, look at
You like that? You like
yes.
that? All right. Hey, we'll see y'all next week. Y'all have a blessed day.